Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be sending an alert using Logic Apps and IoT Ensemble. As always, we'll have a link to a text version of this tutorial in the description. To start out, we just need two windows open, the IoT Ensemble dashboard and a blank Logic Apps. We're going to start out by creating an HTTP request here, just the regular one. Then we want to make it a GET request. Then to get this URL for the next step, we go to the IoT Ensemble dashboard, scroll down, and find this warm query. And we click try it out. If you're using emulated data, you're going to want to set this flag to true. And you can just click execute. Once that is complete, you can copy this request URL in the second box. Then we'll go back to the other page and paste it in. Then we need a header. Ours is going to be called LCU subscription key. Then to get the value, we go back to our dashboard, scroll up till we see the primary key at the top of the storage access section. You can just click the button to copy it, and then paste that in. The last thing to do is tell it how often we want to run this GET request. For this example, we're just going to do every 12 hours. The next step is going to be Parse Json. So we click Next Step, search for Parse Json. We click on Data Operations, and then Parse Json should be right there. We then need to tell it what content to parse, so we give it the body from the HTTP request. And then we click this button down here to give it a sample of the payload so it knows what it looks like. To get that payload, we go back into the IoT Ensemble tab. We can scroll back down, and we'll see we have this response body section. We have a handy button here just to copy it all, so we just click that. Go back into Logic Apps and paste that in. Once you click Done, you'll see it pop up in the schema section, but instead of the variables having actual values, they have types here. We're then ready for the next step, so we search for each. It's going to be under the Controls tab. And then you have to tell it what to loop over, which is the payloads array. We can then add an action. We want to go back into that Controls tab and look for condition. Here we're going to search for a temperature. The dynamic content window will pop up, so in here we can just search for temperature. We're going to want to click on the second one, as that's the actual reading. The first one is just the metadata. And then when that's greater than, we can just say 45. Then we're going to want to add another row where we just get the timestamp associated with that payload. And make sure that came in the last 12 hours. So when that time is greater than, and you click on this expression tab, we search for time, click on the get past time, and just give it 12, and then the string hour. This will just say anything in the past 12 hours we want, anything older than that, we don't want. You're going to want to change this time with the trigger we set in the HTTP request in the first step. So if this is true, we want to send an email. So we can just go down to the true block. We can add a condition. We're going to search for email. We're going to use the Outlook one. Scroll down till we find send email v2. And we can just send our email. I'm just going to send it to myself. And the cool thing here is you can add dynamic content to your email. So we can say temperature warning for device ID, and it'll tell you which device is triggering this condition. And then the body, we can give some more info saying it reached this temperature at this time. So just search for time. And you can customize this however you want to get the info you need. Let's just do a quick overview of all the steps. We start out with the HTTP request. Tell it we want to get request, get that URL from IoT Ensemble, enter in the header and the key. Tell it how often you want to hit that request. Then we parse the JSON, hand it that body from the HTTP request, paste in that payload. Then we do the for each loop, make sure we're looping over the payloads, add our conditions, and then if true, we send that email. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more cool IoT projects and tutorials, visit iotensemble.com or our YouTube channel here.